I am currently working on season 6 of Grayson, Frankie. I've been on since season 1, and we're on 6, and it's kind of was my big break editing. So from day 1, everybody was very welcoming and very much like a family. But one of the best things about it is the women that run the show and that are a part of it. Like, I've never been on a show that's so central with so many women in like every job role, and I think that was amazing. And everybody empowers each other, and it's just like a great environment. So working on Altered Carbon, what was your favorite part about it? What made it unique compared to some of your other projects?
I mean, all the action, I've really loved it. There are all kinds of different chase scenes, fight scenes, sword fights, gun fights, car chases, everything. And then after that, then I add all the visual effects to it. So it was like starting all over again and feeling like there was a whole other chapter of fun, creative things to do. I mean, everybody knows there's a big difference between editing drama versus comedy. What is it like for you on Grace and Frankie?
Yeah, I mean, for sure in comedy, I think it's all pacing because, you know, the smallest little change, a couple frames here or there can change a joke. The speed, if you have like, especially physical humor, that quick, like shocking physical, whatever it is funny. You know, if it's slow or doesn't happen with the right pacing, it can ruin the whole show.
Sure thing, do what you wanna do. I can't tell you who to sock it to.
You could have gone a whole lot faster, couldn't you?
Maybe, but I'm an 80-year-old woman, and I've earned the right to take my sweet fucking time.
Yeah, with action, you're hiding things like stunts or misses because it's not all actual violence. So there's a bit of movie magic there.
I'll kill you before I let you put me in a cage.
After you piece an episode together, I find that you watch it all the way through, and sometimes you have to tweak like performances because either the through line, you're not following it, or you're missing certain aspects. Is that similar for you?
Really, my best way is by watching one of those master shots, those wide shots that has all the characters in the scene. And I watch it and I'm able to see what kind of blocking they do during the scene. Not only is every scene usually about a particular character and whose point of view it is, I'm also looking at what's the impact of the scene and what is the scene really about and what's the most important thing. And that's the thing I want to underline.
Yeah.
And so I work up to that.
Yeah.
Almost every show is visual effects heavy now.
Well, yes.
But
not in the traditional way.
Right, in the non-traditional way. With Altered Carbon, you do some conventional visual effects, maybe for doing some split screens to clean up some background and making sure everything looks as good as it can. When a flying car comes into a bay and is going to land, when I get it, all I see is the warehouse that they shot in. And there's no car. There's one actor standing there, and he's like the guy waiting for it to land. But he just stands there. And then basically in my computer, I'll make a dot, and I'll say, this is the tracking, and imagine that this is the flying car, and then I'm just gonna say it lands there.
I mean, I've worked on a bunch of heavy visual effects movies. When I would look at the dailies and he would cut, they have like the previs, so you'd have like some of the storyboards or whatever cut together, some previs stuff. But it was like a lot of the footage, it was like all blue or all green. And I'm just like, how? I mean, I know it's all practice and it's all just like getting into the show, but sometimes I'd be like, how are you even knowing what's gonna be there? Or like just the timing wise, like you're talking about, it's not easy. It's like a whole different way of cutting than just like performance. You're cutting their performance, but you don't really know what it's gonna look like on the other side. So I think that's.
And sometimes you make adjustments even after things start to come together.
Well, I guess they do some of the animation based on what you're doing too. Or you're working with them on that. At least in my experience, the director, yes, they have their vision, but a lot of times the producers, or my experience on Grayson and Frankie, the producers, it's kind of like their show.
This series is their baby, so they want to give it consistency, and they're thinking about the arc over the entire season or series. They will be more specific, and they're closer to it. Is there a favorite thing you've done? Favorite scene, favorite moment?
On Grayson and Frankie, there was one episode where Frankie and Robert, which is Lily and Martin, it was just like a 2-shot, and then they did singles, but it was just like them getting stoned, and they had to say these lines, but they had them ad-libbed. So they ad-libbed all these random things. Of course, Lily and Martin were amazing, and like just said weird things, and Lily would go into like, oh, balloons.
I want to smell blooms. I'm so tired.
Did I tell you that I loved your idea?
Which one?
So when I was watching, I was like, oh, I'm just gonna like keep it on a 2-shot and just cut to random things, but keep the storyline moving. And I loved it. The director loved it, and I'm like, it was something, you reimagine. That's not how it was meant to be shot. But it's like the actors had given such gold in their ad-libs that like I laughed every time.
It's like you don't want to stop.
No, I wanted to make it like an hour long.
Editing is really the culmination, and bringing every bit of everyone's hard work kind of coming together. What keeps you going? What's your inspiration?
I think for me, each project, I just like seeing the process from beginning to end, and the relationships you build, and how everybody's comes together just to make this one thing happen, and the passion that people have, and I mean, it really is just being part of these projects with these people that keep it inspiring, and every project you work on is different and brings kind of a new light to it.
Yeah, and then when somebody gets to watch it, for me, it's when people can see your movie and maybe get another part of the world that they haven't experienced before, or have always wondered what it's like to be in a certain situation. I hope that people can maybe take something from my work and then maybe apply it to their better life.
Yeah, maybe escape reality a little bit too.
Yeah.